for, because fear often silences people. You know, when you're afraid, you clam up and you crawl into a hole, and we can't do that. And I'm not doing that. And you know, I've come under attack, and I'm like, whatever, I must be doing something right. And I want to encourage all of you to use your voice and speak out and share information, share true information, because there are a whole lot of lies out there. It seems like we've got a whole ecosystem of lies, and there's a real strong and powerful effort to literally bring autocracy to this democratic nation, and we can't let that happen. So, you know, I'm here to answer any questions you have. On a local level, we're kind of disempowered. I mean, we've been like systematically disempowered, but we do have a voice, and we can at least affect our immediate neighborhoods. You know, we've got important processes going on locally. We've got our land use planning process that only happens every 20 years, and it's really important as far as protecting our neighborhoods and kind of guiding where we put affordable housing, where we preserve our environment. So, you know, that's kind of been my thing, my wheelhouse for, you know, most of my life in politics, is paying attention to those zoning and land use issues. So, you know, I'm trying to inform as many of y'all to get involved in that process as possible. We have lots of public meetings coming up about it, so please attend those. There's public surveys online. I want to encourage everybody to get involved in that process. That is one local issue that's really important that we all get involved in. But that said, I want to invite our local candidates, other candidates, to come up and say a few words, because, you know, I really appreciate your support, folks in my district who support me, but I want to encourage you to support some of these other candidates as well, because, you know, everybody needs as much help as they can get. I'm going to start with John Barrow. Almost everybody knows John Barrow. Former Congressman John Barrow. And John knows what it's like to be gerrymandered.
I was going to say, we have a lot in common.
They chased you all over the state of Georgia. But John's running for Supreme Court now, state Supreme Court, and God knows we need a Democrat on the Supreme Court.
Things have gotten that bad.
It's bad.
Thanks, Melissa. You know, Melissa and I do have a lot in common. We both served on the commission, both got gerrymandered out of a job, and we're both still in there swinging, still fighting. And I want to thank you for inviting me and letting me come there. My name is John Barrow, and I'm running for the Georgia Supreme Court. Now, this may strike some of y'all as kind of strange, because a lot of folks don't know we elect our judges in Georgia, and that's because most of them get appointed. They work things out so they don't have to face the voters, and that's therein hangs a tale. But I'm running for the Supreme Court because I believe that Georgians have the same right under our state constitution that we used to have under Roe versus Wade. And I'm running against an opponent who believes the exact opposite. I'm running against a young man named Andrew Pinson, the newest and youngest political appointee to a court that is filled with political appointees. And here are the deets on Andrew Pinson. His claim to fame is that he clerked for Clarence Thomas. He is an officer in the Federalist Society. And he was the lead chief appellate lawyer for the state of Georgia, for you and me, when Georgia intervened and took the side of Alabama and Mississippi in the case that overturned Roe versus Wade. So we got his number, okay? Now, in terms of the conventional, traditional, old-fashioned qualifications, I've got tons of experience that my opponent doesn't have. For 25 years, I've practiced law in a storefront law firm here in Athens, a small firm, just a few lawyers. You know what that's like, Blair. Wondering where your next case is coming from, wondering how you're going to make payroll, and earning your living by the sweat of your brow. For a couple of decades after that, during that time, I served in public office. I was one of the first members of the Athens-Clarke County Commission when it consolidated. After that, I became the first Democrat to defeat an incumbent Republican in the Deep South when I ran for Congress in 2004. And for my efforts, I was rewarded with the distinction of being the most gerrymandered member of Congress in the history of the Republic. After that was over, I taught at the University of Georgia some, but the thing that I enjoyed the most in my time since I was in Congress was working half a year as a volunteer pro bono attorney for the Atlanta Legal Aid Society. In all of these experiences, I learned the ways in which people have to deal with the law, how the law runs over them, how government runs over them. I had a world of practical experience that is lacking on the court. What kind of experience has my opponent got? 2 years of clerking for an international law firm representing corporate clients, and then the next 10 years working in state government, doing everything he can to take away our rights. So therein, that's the card. That's what we're up against. Now, it isn't just abortion that's on the ballot. Today, the Supreme Court is turning more and more of the business of deciding the constitutionality of state statutes over to the states. Let the states themselves decide what's constitutional in their boundaries. That's why I think it's more important than ever that we have justices on the Georgia Supreme Court who believe that our Constitution is intended to protect us from politicians. I believe in a Constitution that protects our rights, not one that lets the politicians do pretty much whatever they want to. If you care about these issues as much as I do, I ask for your support. Vote for me on May 21. That's the day of the election. It's on primary day. It's Melissa's election day, and it's Judge's election day, too. Vote for me on May 21. I'd be proud to have your support, and strike a blow for Roe. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all, we do have at least one commission candidate here. Rashe Malcolm is here, and Rashe is running for the District 6 seat on the commission. Jesse Hull is vacating that seat, and Rashe does have an opponent, and I'm endorsing Rashe. I think it's really important we get her on the commission. Rashe's done some time working on the Industrial Development Authority to understand some of the bureaucracy of local government, and she's a very successful local business owner who's done a lot of community advocacy work. She can tell you what she has to say, and you guys please throw Rashe your support and spread the word. If you know anyone in District 6, kind of the West Athens territory, please ask them to get out and vote for Rashe.
Melissa introduced me. I am Rashe Malcolm. I am the owner of Rashe's Cuisine. You know, I'm running in District 6, where I have lived for almost 20 years. I've been an Athens resident for almost 30 years, and the entire time I've been here, as Melissa pointed out, I have been working blood, sweat, and tears in the Athens community. And so for me, it's really important that we be able to not only have people who have experience inside of government, but also those who have experience on the other side of government who have had to deal with the policies that the government puts forth. So I would like for you to continue to support me in my effort to get on the commission, so that not only can I take my experience from being one of you, then I can go and, Melissa, as she stated, we can go in there and really push policies that make sense and that matter. And it's a lot easier, especially when I also have 2 nonprofits, to not have to go through so much red tape to be able to help the community. So thank you. That's all I got. I'm a little nervous, so I'm sorry.
Y'all, I'm going to ask Mary Bagby to come up. Is Mary still here? Oh, there she is. There you are. You moved. Mary's running for the school board for District 2. We've got that seat has kind of been kind of a revolving door the past few years. And it's finally up for an election. There have been some appointed members, as members have signed off of it. And, My former opponent actually vacated that seat to run against me. So Mary is running for the seat, and I want to invite her to come up and say a few words.
Good evening. My name is Mary P. Bagley. I live in District 2. I've been in the same house for almost 40 years. Well, I've been there 40 years. I've been there almost 50 years. And I'm concerned about having a level playing field. I'm not interested in what people say teamship. When you say we all got to vote for the same thing. My team is District 2. That's my team. My team needs the same thing as the other districts have. My team needs to come up to a level playing field. My team needs to stop going to the 7th and 8th grade, reading on the 3rd and 4th grade level. My team needs some of the millions of dollars that's going in the wrong places, but it says it's allocated to the school district, but the children are not getting it. That's my team. I'm not running against anyone. I'm not running against anyone. I'm running for my team. And I intend to finish the race. That's what I intend to do. I'm not going to be bought. My soul is not for sale. I don't sell it for a morsel of bread because my name is not Esau. And I know people have told me, don't talk about God because they already think you're crazy. So if I start talking about the devil, that's going to validate that I am. So I am not crazy. I have a sound mind. I have a sound doctrine. I have a sound ministry. I have a sound belief that the children on the east side, that I have a sound belief that just because I live in a certain place, that doesn't dictate the level of integrity, education, discipline, moral, or anything else. It is not where I live. It is how I live. And so the children on the east side needs to know that they are cared for by everyone in this city. Not because they live in a project, which means it was something somebody planned and they were a project and they watched their project. That's what it is. But our children are geniuses and people need to know it, need to respect them. They need the education, they need the finances so they can be on a level playing field. That's the team I'm working for. Team 2, District 2. Thank you.
Okay, y'all, we have a contested Democratic primary for Congressional District 10. And I've invited both candidates to come speak, and I know that Lexi Doherty's here. I'm going to invite her to come up and say a few words. We have 2 women running for this seat, and God knows we need more women in Congress. We need more Democratic women in Congress. We've got to fight back against this fascist patriarchy that's trying to take over our bodies, like literally. So Lexi, I want to invite you to come up and say a few words.
Hi y'all, I'm Lexi Doherty, and as Melissa said, I'm running for District 10 to be your next congressional representative. And I feel like I want to start by acknowledging the other candidates running, because from my perspective, it takes collaboration not just across communities, but through levels of government. And when I'm running for Congress because I believe that we need representatives who are fighting for the average working person and not bowing to their billionaire donors and corporate lobbyists. And we need to work with representatives on local commissions, and we need to work with representatives, I lost Mary, to make sure our children get what they need. And a lot of the funding that pays for these programs comes from the federal level. And so we have a really special opportunity as regional representatives to the federal government to be liaisons. And I was just talking to somebody earlier about there are places through our district that are underfunded, that they don't have internet, they don't have healthcare resources, they don't have what they need for their constituents to live good, healthy, sustainable lives. They don't make the wages that they need. And I'm running to make sure that we start to change that. What I've seen when I talk to people across the district is that they're just absolutely sick of politics. It's terrible, everyone is awful to each other, and frankly, it's just dysfunctional and nothing is getting done. We have had the least productive Congress in, a generation. And that affects all of us. I think yesterday or the day before, they finally passed a budget for the year, which that year started in October. So, yikes. But I come to this as honestly a pretty progressive person, but I've grown a team that now includes a Republican and like a strong Second Amendment libertarian, which kind of cracks me up. And I asked both of them, why me? I don't think I would be your first choice as a representative. And they both answered that they just want functional government again. And, right? Yeah, me too. So as a representative, I will work with anyone that is willing to work with me for the benefit of this community. Because there are so many more places that we align on the issues than where we disagree. We all want the same things, we just typically disagree on the path to get there. So I want to be someone that is willing to bring more people into the fold across race, across religion, across ideology, because democracy works best when we are all involved. And I want you all to be involved. So, what you need, tell me, because I want to be your representative. And also, I feel like I would be remiss if I did not also mention that Mike Collins is 100% pro-life. And there are people talking about a national abortion ban. And to make sure that that doesn't happen, we need to flip the House. And we need to hold the Senate, and we need to hold the White House. And this is a gerrymandered district that it's hard to win. And that means we need to put in extra effort to make sure that we flip this district, because this district is in the middle of this fight to protect our rights. And we have a responsibility to put in the work to not just protect women in Georgia and in this district, but to protect women across the country. And it is going to take all of us, and it is going to take, like I said, a lot of work because we are gerrymandered. We have the gentlemen who they gerrymandered out because they know that they could do that. So we need to overcome gerrymandering. We need to bring people together, and we need to win this seat. And so I hope you all will support me on May 21st, and I hope you will join me in organizing to elect Democrats on the school board and in the commission and at the Supreme Court, the Georgia Supreme Court, right? And of course in Congress as well. So thanks y'all, and come find me. I'm happy to chat with anyone, and I'm just excited to be here. Thank you, Melissa.
I also invited Jessica Ford to speak. She's the other Democratic candidate in the District 10 race, and she's not here yet. She was in another event counties away, so if she gets here, I'll probably call y'all back to chat. I'm not sure if she'll make it, but I wanted to thank everybody for coming again, and please do what you can to get out there and share the word about all of these elections and about all of the issues. It is really, they say, may you live in interesting times, but we didn't know what we were getting into. It's so important, and I think about kids, especially little girls. I work on North Campus, and I ride my scooter past the arch, and this time of year, all these young women are lining up in their pretty dresses and their clumpy heels, getting their pictures taken and ready to graduate and get out into that big world. And I just think how that world has changed for them, and the rights and opportunities that I had at that age that they no longer have. And how one bad night on the town could change their lives and take away their futures, because we have judges and elected leaders who believe that we are less than human, that we do not have the full rights that they do, that we're pretty much breed stock. And we can't let that be the future for all women in this country. We've got to turn those laws back. Yeah, I mean, I look at myself and where many of my dearest girlfriends would be if we didn't have those rights. And I see all the women who don't have access to basic health care because OBGYNs are fleeing our state because of our reproductive laws. And it's across the country. I mean, I know women who are choosing not to have more children because they know if they ended up with a miscarriage, they can end up bleeding out on the floor. My sister is one of them. I mean, I will not have another niece or nephew because of these laws. You know, I don't know where we're going with this, but we've got to fight with every fiber of our being. We've got to fight for equality and humanity and a basic access to a brighter future for literally half our population. So that's where I'm going at this point. And I know on a local level we don't have a whole lot to say about a whole lot of power to affect it, but we can at least speak out about it and share the word and encourage people to get out there and vote. Thanks.